So check it out. Wait.
Oh, look at that.
How cool!
That's very cool.
Take care, mate. So that lovely man there's called Mike. We've just been chatting. He came up to us saying, "Are you the map guy?" I love when that happens. He had been following us on our tours in Scotland and whatnot. So yeah, he's about to go to Austria as well with his mate, so I'm very envious. However, I'm here at Williams Motorrad in Manchester, and I'm taking this out. The 2019 BMW R1250RS. And this is a serious contender to replacing my GS, my beloved GS. Over there's Toby, just getting ready. And there's my K100 RS, looking good. But look at this, absolutely gorgeous. And I'm more than a little bit excited about riding this today. So Toby's going to take point. And we're going to go out to Dunham Massey first for a spotter brunch before doing a loop and coming back here. We got it for about 2.5 to 3 hours, which is fantastic. That screen is so cool. I've got like butterflies in my stomach like a first date. I'm a bike salesman's dream on this because I'm not keeping my cool at all. First thing right off the bat is the weight. And I'm flat-footed on the ground, which is such a lovely feeling. So I'm in road mode with a full tank of gas, and let's go. Oh, it's so comfy. Just need to relax, ease into it, because I'm a bit nervous with it all. But it's a beautiful thing. This is the sport model. I think I would go for the executive, or exclusive model, which comes with a blue finish. And I didn't think I would like this yellow, but actually in the metal it looks pretty good. Oh my god! Power is incredible! Oh my god! Woohoo! Oh my god! Yeah, initial impressions are good, but the power instantly, so smooth, just wants to go. Now the big test for today, for me, is the comfort factor about my knees. How comfortable am I going to be after, you know, a good couple of hours in the saddle in this thing? Because that's what the big bonus is about the GS. It's infinite comfort. So this is the last in the range to have the new 1250 engine. Obviously the RT and the GS itself has got the same shaft and engine directly transferred from all of those bikes, it's exactly the same setup. So 134 brake horsepower, 105 newton meters of torque. But before I get any stats wrong, let me put all that information up on the screen for you right now. Okay, so we just, as I said, there are all the stats, but the most significant stat of all is the weight. It's 25 kilograms lighter than the GS Adventure, and that's a stat that you just can't ignore. Well, I certainly can't ignore. So let's hope this goes well. So, the engine withstanding, this bike has had, I believe, over 100 different modifications and upgrades from the last one, which is very significant. And it's very, very familiar to me, having obviously got the GS. All the switch gear is the same, everything's in the same place, so there's nothing here that feels unfamiliar. It's just this riding position, and it certainly is comfortable. it's something else. It's yeah, it's really good. It's all about that right leg and that peg. Yeah, over 100 different modifications, including but not limited to this new snazzy TFT screen, which is just great. I love it. So clear, tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, I really like it, and I personally think it's one of the nicest looking ones on the market. It has the sat-nav mount here on the bars, which is a shame because I like the bars. I think it's one of the cooler things on the bike about this this lattice frame type thing going on, and it's obscured a bit with the sat-nav mount, but you know, it makes sense to have it there. One of the interesting things I've noticed is the wind protection already, without going onto a proper dual carriageway, is less so than the GS, but that's to be expected because the front end of the GS is much bigger and the screen is much higher. But I don't think that it would take much to sort that. Not to say that this screen's not doing a good job, because of course it is. It's 2 positions, higher and lower, but it feels good. I really like it. And of course that engine, that smooth R1250 engine that I love so much. I must make a disclaimer, this isn't going to be a review of the bike. This is going to be full of stats and facts. I'm just not going to know all that stuff. This is going to be my first impressions review of a biker, and I'll cover as much as I possibly can, but it's more going to be about feelings and sensations on the new bike. For the riding position, let's start with that. Yes, you are in a bit of a tuck, but it's not, you know, you're not leaned over the bars or anything, and I think you'd be a lot more upright with a riser, bar riser, just by an inch or so. That'll make a massive difference, but it's not uncomfortable at all. Your legs are tucked, but I'm riding it, so it can't be that far tucked because I've got big issues with my knees. Oh, the brakes are phenomenal too. I like the mirrors too. They're right out there on the fairing, but they give a massive clear view of everything that's behind. So there's a Caddy dealership right there. Something we should check out. And she's coping really well in traffic, as we're in traffic. Should point that out. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself on this. Seat's really comfortable. More so than I ever anticipated, actually. One of the more significant and more noticeable changes on the bike has been the fairing. It's been brought in line with the S1000 RR. It looks very similar with the nose, and it's very cool LED lights, which I'm a big fan of, and it's lost that odd squinty look, if you like, on the front of it. It's now gone for a perfectly symmetrical look, which is, I think, is a little bit more pleasing to the eye, and it makes it look very purposeful, very aggressive. But this bike has come out completely out of left field for me. I never considered it before, thinking I'd never be able to get on it, let alone ride it, due to you know, the sporty position. But it is immensely comfortable, and it's often overlooked because of the massive vogue for adventure bikes. I've got a feeling that this will be very, very nifty in the twisty stuff. And there's my boy Toby on the Tiger. I've got to be honest with you, I really want this to work. Really want this to work. Dare I do it? Ooh, filtering on a bike that's not mine. Yeah, I said that. Filtering on a bike that's not mine. The whole bike feels really high quality, you know, as you would expect. But it just feels solid and purposeful and high quality. It's a good feeling. It's a premium product, and like I said, you would expect that, and it's nice to have that. I believe the tank is 17 litres. I'll have to double check that, but you would have seen that on the stats that popped up before. So I reckon a range of around 150 to 200 miles on a tank, which is absolutely fine. But again, quite a difference from the Adventure with its massive 32 litres. So smooth. That's another big thing about it. It's just so smooth. So smooth, in fact, that you kind of forget that you're on a twin. Almost. I was just going through all the things with the bike before setting off there, and one of the most significant things different from my 2017 GS is the ESA, or suspension. They've upgraded it again, and now the bike automatically knows and will adjust to whatever weight is on it. So you got a pillion on here, you got luggage, a different rider, it will adjust automatically to the weight that's on it, which is just crazy. It's funny, I guess it's for me, it's an in-between from the K100RS and the GS. The K100RS is a lot more tucked than this, and obviously the GS is a lot more upright. It's like a little bit in between of both. Anyway, I'm going to start focusing on the riding part, and I'll pick up with you guys when I'm at more interesting roads. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, we got off the main drag a little bit, and they're on the way to Dun and Massey. I am thoroughly enjoying riding this motorcycle. It just feels good, it really does. Big grin factor. And here we are, Dun and Massey. That was quick. You know what, I think this is the first bike I've ridden, well, it can't be, but it must be, without guards on the hand grips. It's quite weird. Oh no, I'm talking absolute rubbish. The K100RS has got that too. Idiot. Oh, talking nonsense. And of course the Harleys didn't have them either. I don't know what I am talking about. You know what, on another subject, you should guys come down to Dun and Massey. It's so pretty. I've come down here a few times. It's good fun on the bike. Oh, she picks up. Oh dear. Another tractor. Well, the suspension most definitely works. It's soaking up all these bumps with ease. Yep, brakes definitely work. Okay, time for a quick debrief. Okay, where's the sight stand? There? What an interesting ride. Okay, let's go and get a drink and I'll come back to you in a bit. Okay, we just had a drink at the Rope and Anchor in Dun and Massey. Now the plan is to get the maximum amount of riding as possible, and I'm really excited to get back. I was like guzzling a drink down to get back on the bike. Oh dear. But we changed the plan slightly. We're going to go out to the peaks and go to Buxton, because it's going to be better roads and hopefully a little bit quieter. So that's where we're going to go. But look at it, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, look at that! It's so light! Look at me pushing the bike back by myself! It's been many occasions where I've had to get Team Up to push me out. My beloved GS. Okay. Alright, so it's about an hour jaunt. A future biker right there. It's about an hour jaunt out to Buxton, so this will be a good test to my endurance on the bike. Alright, and away we go. I am in a lot of trouble right now. It's a gorgeous thing and I like it a lot. And it looks a business too. It was nice just walking up to it in the car park. It's just a very pretty looking motorcycle. If I do indeed take the plunge, I would get, obviously, the full pannier system. Bit of a shame it doesn't come with a package, but it does obviously come with an optional extra. And I would also get the Akrapovic cans. It's something that I've always wanted, and it's a bit of a promise to myself to get them on my next bike. So yeah, the Akrapovic can would be on the options list for me. Has to be done. Got to rev under a bridge or any tunnel. It's very confidence inspiring. It's a shame that this bike doesn't get more attention, you know, in the range. I think everybody just goes straight to the GS, you know, when looking at touring bikes, even though, you know, it's in the adventure category. That's what they're generally used for, because it's a really smart bit of kit. Okay. Oh my god! Holy crap! Wow! Damn, that's got some go. Holy moly! Yeah, it's no slouch. Yeah, so it's either the GS for the adventure or generally the RT for touring, and this one kind of falls between the cracks, so to speak, between the two, and it's a shame because it's the same engine and all that kind of good stuff. Holy crap! It goes! It is no slouch. That scared the hell out of me! Here we go! Holy crap! Woohoo! Oh my word! Oh, jeez Louise! Oh, that's only third. Okay, let's get my whoa. Okay, so going 70 now on the motorway. Yeah, there's a lot more turbulence or wind blast noticeable than the GS, but it's not, you know, it's not unbearable. I'm actually feeling quite comfortable at the moment. I'm going 73. I feel it more on my shoulders than on my head. I'm 6 foot. Yeah, I'm 6 foot tall, probably about 15 stone. Just to give you an idea of my build. And my height? And yeah, this screen, although not tall, is looking after me. I just feel a bit of turbulence on my shoulders. But no, I think I could be able to pull down comfortably a fair few miles here on the motorway on the standard screen. I just wasn't prepared for that power. Crikey. This thing shifts. Wow. Doing an old cruise control. All very clear on the screen there. Oh, it's a very comfortable place to be. Oh, ho, ho, ho! Oh, it just tips in really well, you know. It's the kind of bike that wants to be ridden. So yeah, very comfortable and competent on the motorway. I think you could do a lot of miles on this bike comfortably. And that standard screen is surprisingly good. Certainly surprised me. I think I might have mentioned it just a moment ago. It's are you going to let me go? It's 2 positions. This is in the higher position. But yeah, very good. Very fortunate with the weather today as well. 23 degrees. Yesterday it was 30 degrees. Far too hot to be on a motorcycle, in my opinion. You just bake. It's one of those days that you sweat before you even get onto the motorbike. You know what, even this colour is starting to grow on me. Cheers, we're going to the airport. I think we've made a wrong turn. Okay, slow speed is easy to manage there. Yeah, we went. Yeah, we were in the wrong lane there. Yeah, I'm finding it very, very intuitive. If you're familiar with any current BMW, then you know the transition is very easy with all the switch gear and the controls and you know, the way it feels. It's more of a case of, in my opinion, adjusting to the riding position and power. As in the case of this thing, it's got a lot of it. Oh, Toby, I like it a lot. She likes it.
Wait till we get it in some twisties.
Yeah. Fellow GS rider there. That gearbox is really smooth as well. Once you get it into second, the up and down gear shifts are so smooth. I've always found that it, you know, first into second is always a bit of a jolt when using the quick shifter, and maybe that's by design, as it's probably not intended for those initial gears. But everything outside of that is buttery smooth. Let Toby take the lead. He's got the man with the comms, sat nav. This is a very, very nice place to be. Yeah, there's no buffeting. Well, I'm not finding that there's any buffeting. There's a little bit more wind noise than I'm used to, but it's certainly not uncomfortable. And as I probably would have mentioned a million times, the seat, really comfy. I'm really pleased that we're going out to the peaks. It makes sense. Oh wow, the brakes are phenomenal. Because you know, nicer roads, take full advantage of the bike and the time that we've got with it. Oh, that power, man! You can just feel the torque. It's like you're riding such a wide band of power all the time. It's always there for you. So it's got oodles of usable power at a flick of a wrist. It's so reassuring, you know. It's at such low revs relative, you know. I'm at 4,000 revs, and I know that I could just pull away at any time. And of course, a lot of that is to do with the new shift cam technology. Very, very clever stuff. And I think this bike's got the right balance between sport and touring, funnily enough. I'm digging the white subframe on this as well. If I get off the bike when we're in Buxton, I'll give a bit of a walk around for you guys. I just realised I have to get back onto my K100 after this. That's going to be quite jarring after being on something like this. Much as I love my K100, it is a 30-year-old bike. Again, slow control, feet up, going along here. That was really easy, very light steering. So just as a point of interest, the R1250RS comes in 3 guises. So it comes in the standard, which comes in black, then the sport, which I'm riding right now with this rather snazzy yellow colour, with a bunch of stuff with it. Again, I'm not going to be able to recite all the stuff that comes with it, I'm sorry about that, but obviously if you refer to the Motorrad, website, all those goodies will be on there for you to check out. And then finally, the exclusive, which comes in a blue, which is probably my favourite out of the 3 as in the finish, and is probably the one I would also go for if I went for the bike. But yeah, they all look great. I didn't think this one would look great until I've actually ridden it, because the pictures of it on the Motorrad website do not do it any favours in this finish. Oh man, there is just no end of traffic. Bank holiday day traffic. Multi-strada there, that was very nice. I am able to weave through this stuff with a lot more confidence than I ever did with my GS, which is interesting. I guess it's a combination of being a lot more compact and a lot lighter. Well, we're certainly making the most of the time, which is good. I'll have to take a big take 2. We're certainly making the most of the time, which is good. And we'd like to say a big thank you to the guys at BMW Motorrad Williams in Manchester. Really looked after me with this and given the bike to me for over 3 hours today, so that's really nice of them, and it's really good to have it for that amount of time to really get to know the bike. It's also a very good dealership, so if you guys are in the Manchester area, do check out the dealership. Really great guys, good coffee, and sometimes some biscuits too, which is always good. That's interesting. I've just noticed with all this glare in the sun, the screen is absolutely fine. There's no glare on the screen at all, meaning that you can read it in whatever the conditions. Oh, going a different route. I normally go straight on here. This is exciting. Oh, the hill start thing just kicked in then. That's cool. It's got a self-hold mechanism on hills. That's really good. It's good using it in real life rather than just reading about it, so interesting. That's something that would be very useful then on a GS with its weight. Look at the views! Absolutely beautiful. Spectacular stuff. Spectacular views, eh? I'm starting to feel all the bumps. And what I mean by that, I wouldn't be as aware if I was on the GS. And I think the sports side of this bike is starting to show over the touring. So I think this thing is more at home on pristine tarmac A roads and the like, and anything else like what I'm on here, it's less comfortable, which is a bit of a shame, because fatigue is starting to show in me. What I mean by that, sorry, can't get my words in order. Yeah, I'm starting to show signs of fatigue, as in my shoulders are starting to hurt a bit, because I'm obviously going downhill here. All my weight's going forward onto the bars, which are slightly more dropped than I'm accustomed to, and I feel a bit more pressure on my knees, so I'm not that comfortable at the moment, which is what this ride is all about. I wanted to see what it would be like in a ride that was longer than, you know, 45 minutes. Ooh. So I think just from that, I already know, sadly, what the answer is going to be on this bike. For me, anyway. As much as I wanted it to work, I don't think the RS and I are destined to be together. Because as a main bike, as my primary bike, I need to make sure that it's comfortable for long distance, and due to my limitations in regards to my body, I still think that's going to be the case with this, so I may have to stick with the GS. Which is not exactly slumming it, but I was kind of looking for something a bit different. But as a machine, this thing's just phenomenal. The power it's got, the torque, oh, it's just a delight. It really is. I adore it. I absolutely adore this thing. And if I was looking for a Sunday fun thing to go blasting around, it'd be right at the top of the list, because it's so light, so usable, and so much fun! Woohoo! I am so pleased I've taken this out for a ride, and I thoroughly recommend it to anyone else that's looking for a sport tourer. What a bit of kit this is, it's amazing. Oh my word! Yeah, it's just brilliant, it really is. It just delivers on all levels as a comfortable, all-round, quality motorbike. It really is. I think it's gorgeous to look at, it's confidence inspiring to ride, power for days. It's just that little bit too cramped for me for longer stints in the saddle, which is such a shame. And I think from the recent tour to the Western Isles has been the eye-opener, because I know that I wouldn't have been able to do that on this bike and be comfortable. That's the key thing, be able to do that and be comfortable, because at no point when using the GS was I uncomfortable, as in no pain in the shoulders, no pain in the knees or the arse for that matter. And sadly I do have discomfort in my shoulders and knees from this about an hour we've been riding, and that's what these test rides are all about. So I don't dislike the bike at all. In fact, if I could, I would have it, but it's just not going to work with me. Such a pity, because I do like it a lot. And here we are in the wonderful town of Buxton. We'll get a quick sandwich and head back to the dealership. And it's been a very good ride and very interesting. It's Bank Holiday Monday, would you believe it, with this weather? So Buxton's incredibly busy, as you would expect it to be. Oh, I don't know where we're going. Oh, it's a beautiful 26 degrees. Practically unheard of on a bank holiday Monday. Hot.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up with you a bit after a bit of lunch. Okay, so we're heading back now. We got to turn back, otherwise we're going to be late. And I adore this thing. Look at it. It's absolutely stunning. It's a bike that I've always kind of wanted to have a sporty bike. And I'm really chuffed to be able to ride it. I think that's the biggest achievement. But sadly, it isn't going to be. It's just not going to be. Not going to work out. See, that right there, being able to push the thing backwards is a bit of a novelty for me. It's a hell of a jolt putting it into first. Yeah, in my humble opinion, I think if you were just going along roads like this, A roads, nice and wide, perfect tarmac, sweeping bends and the like, and going on tours with those roads exclusively, then this would be perfect. But I know through experience, by exploring and riding through places like Scotland and the Western Isles, that those roads are only few and far between, and this bike would struggle as a rider on it, going through those types of roads, because they're bumpy, uneven, bit of a struggle to go through. And if I've been on this bike for that, I know that the fatigue would be brought on oh so more quickly, and that is why the GS just ticks all the boxes in regards to touring, because it has all the power, all the toys and all the comfort. It's also not a bad looker as well. This thing is drop dead gorgeous. I think it's just stunning, but it's just not comfortable enough for me over a long distance. I'm so frustrated because I so wanted it, but that's what a test ride's all about. And we've got a cracking stretch of road going back to the dealership here, so it should be a good fun. And like I said just a moment ago, I'm more chuffed that I've got to ride this bike, because I never thought I would ever be able to ride anything like this. So like this bike is built for roads like this. Incredible. It's just eating it up. There's R100 RT there. Oh, would you look at it? Oh, I'm so frustrated. I just wish it worked for me. This is certainly the right road to take this bike on. Getting a nice collection of bugs on my visor. Oh, so good. I love this engine. Well, I've always loved the Boxer, it's always good. But this shift cam is excellent. So disappointed. I absolutely adore this bike, I really do. But it just makes no sense of persevering and making amendments to it, adjustments to it to make it more comfortable, when there's another bike in the BMW lineup that fits me perfectly already. I guess I was just looking to get something completely different for the next bike, but I think it just makes sense sticking with what I know and what works. Well, at least I know, and knowing is half the battle. So, in short, this bike is amazing, it really is. It's a quality sport tourer, and it should be too for the price. It's comfortable, it's got tons of power, it's fully loaded with gadgets and tech, and it will take you comfortably to wherever you want to go. However, coming from a GS owner's standpoint, I feel that you can get all of the above that I just mentioned with the GS and be even more comfortable, and that is the deal breaker for me. So if you are looking for a more sporty option and yet looking for the touring experience, then this is the right package. Maybe coming from a sports bike and still want to have that that kind of experience but be able to tour, then this is right up your street. However, if you're looking for long distance touring in comfort with a minimum amount of fatigue and still looking for that boxer engine, then it really still is only one choice in my opinion, and that is the Mighty GS. And I really wanted this bike to work for me, I really did, but it's just not as comfortable as the GS. Going over roads like this and speed bumps, you feel them oh so more because of the riding position than you would do on the GS with where your feet are and where the bars are. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, just saying that's what's relevant for me. I just know that I can do the ride that we've just done with no problems on the GS and feel comfortable afterwards and get off the bike and do it again. And I'm feeling it on this one, and my knees are feeling it and my shoulders are feeling it. So yeah, incredible bit of kit, but in regards to helping me make my final decision about the next bike, it's been invaluable, because even though this is so much lighter with the same amount of tech and kit, it has to be the GS for the comfort. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. We're on our way back to the dealership now. I hope you enjoyed the ride and the feedback and the footage, and I thoroughly recommend you take one of these out if you're interested, because it's a stonking machine. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and we'll be back again real soon. So take care, ride safe, bye.